either Trump or Clinton are elected, that things will be more polarized than ever.
The noun that comes to my mind is a screw loose. And I say this almost with affection for Donald Trump. Maybe he should consider some other line of work, like anything other than President of the United States.
It's not coincidence, I don't think, that Bill Clinton and Hillary both are making huge amounts of money with these speaking fees. Well, a wasted vote is voting for somebody that you don't believe in. And if we're going to continue to vote for the lesser of two evils, that's still evil.
Unlike one of the current presidential candidates, he earned his early money as a door-to-door handyman, which led him to start his own business, where he was the only employee. Without being handed a nickel from a rich father, he built that into a multi-million-dollar business. Unlike one of the current presidential candidates, he understands what public service is about from the ground floor as a two-term governor of New Mexico. And unlike both our current presidential candidates, he bends to neither the Democratic or Republican Party, but takes his rather unique stance on issues over the libertarian swing, and received a little over 1.2 million votes for the nation's top office when he ran in 2012. He's a bicycle racing, paragliding, Mount Everest climbing, small government, former marijuana-using Lutheran with a strong religious conviction who has said of the Barack Obama White House years, and I quote, "My next-door neighbor's two dogs have created more shovel-ready jobs than this current administration," unquote, all of which sounds like the perfect Republican candidate. But is Gary Johnson just too buried in the weeds to have any shot whatsoever? And could he be quietly and unwillingly helping Hillary Clinton become the next president? Please do not feel as if you have to smoke him if you got him. But do welcome back the founder of the Guardian Angels and ruler of the Eastern Seaboard airwaves every weekday afternoon at noon and again at 5 in the evening Eastern Time on 77 WABC in New York, Curtis Sliwa. All right, Curtis, come on. Let's talk about Gary Johnson here for a moment. Seriously? Really? Now, wait a minute. I know he got 1 million votes in 2012, but aren't we just playing a game here to think that Gary Johnson could have any real effect on American politics? Hint, hint, nudge, nudge, wink, wink, say no more?
Oh, I love the weed man analogies you were making there. I felt like, wow, any moment William Weld was going to pass the bong, right? And all of a sudden, Gary Johnson was going to inhale, because as you know, one of the endearing points about both these guys is that they are pro-marijuana. They want the government out of your pocket, and they want the government out of your bedroom. Now, as you know, with Republicans, particularly the holy rollers and the real hardcore conservatives, they want less money being spent for government out of your pocket, but they want to get into your bedroom. And the liberals on the opposite, they want you out of their bedroom, but they want to take all your moolah shmoolah, your scatol, your ducats, your cheddar, your money. So, yeah, this is the perfect meeting in between. You don't have a screwball and a nut job like Trump, and you don't have a liar and a crook like Hillary. So why wouldn't you even take a long look at Gary Johnson and William Weld?
But that's just it. Nobody's, well, I don't want to say nobody because that's incorrect. Certainly people are talking about it. They are showing up in the polls right now. They're getting pretty good numbers, actually. But wait a minute. This is still Republican, Democrat, Trump, Clinton. It's still the machine right here. Isn't it just fair to say that he's a nice candidate? You might want to go for him. But as I alluded to, people are saying that if you vote for this guy, you're going to help to put Hillary Clinton in office.
Well, I got to tell you, that Trump machine is falling apart as we speak, moment by moment. He is self-destructing. Now, I don't know if...
Is he really? Wait a minute, though, Curtis. Is he really? Because you and I have been here, and we've heard this before at least a dozen times, that he's self-destructing and it's all over, and he always overcomes it.
Yeah, but you know what this is? This is like the Heisman Trophy winner suddenly getting drafted into the NFL and recognizing, whoa, the standards are totally different for a general election run. And this time the media is backing Hillary, lock, stock, and barrel. They weren't backing Cruz. They weren't backing Kasich. They weren't backing any of the other 17 others. It was a free-for-all. There's no free-for-all here because the media is specifically cherry-picking anything that Donald Trump says. Like he said he saw the pallets of money, the $400 million that were on the tarmac in Tehran. So far, nobody has seen it. How does he explain his way out of this?
I think he just says it because it sounds good. Let's be real honest here. It sounds good. So let's try something here that sounds good, all right? Would you tell your listeners, hardcore Republicans, the people who say we've got to keep Hillary Clinton out of office, would you tell them, hey, look, guys, I just told you, this is over. Donald Trump can't win. So maybe you should spend more of your time putting these people in the Senate, take care of the House, build up Congress, because if you put a president in here, if Hillary does happen to get elected, at least you've got people sitting there in the two houses, the real lawmakers, and they can take Hillary and they can start knocking her down and make her life miserable. Would that be your advice?
That's already happening, and in fact, it's coming from the Clintonistas. They're already whining, dining, trying to pocket line disaffected Republicans who are in tough races both at the Senate and in the House, and saying, hey, go platinum. That means you completely renounce Trump and you endorse Hillary. That's not likely to be the majority of what those running for a House or Senate seat do. Or there's the gold standard. All you got to do is just renounce Trump. Don't all of a sudden announce that you're a Hillary Clintonista, and PACs will emerge, and all of a sudden you will find yourself flush with cash that cannot be traced, because as you know, you can't trace any money through PACs. So they'll have the best of both worlds. But if Trump continues on this descent, he's going to do a Goldwater. He's going to take a lot of good men and women with him, and you're going to see potentially a House dominated by Democrats, dare I say, or definitely Chuck E. Cheese Schumer, the schmuck the putz, being the majority leader, replacing Harry Reid with a majority of Democrats in the Senate. I want to impale myself just thinking of that.
You're off his Christmas card list, too. All right, look, you and I are both New Yorkers here. I grew up there, you grew up there. Donald Trump said something today that I think will strike at the heart of a lot of New Yorkers and make them think twice. He was intimating that he could have prevented the terrorist attacks on 9/11. He said, and I quote, "Those people that knocked down the World Trade Center, most likely under the Trump policy, wouldn't have been here to knock down the World Trade Center, just so you understand." And he's talking about something that happened 15 years ago. What's your reaction?
You know something? I was on the campaign trail with Michael Buttigieg, Rudy Giuliani. There was no one more synonymous with 9/11 than Rudy. And he lost the Florida primary. He lost the other races versus his Republican opponents because that's all he kept talking about. And I got to tell you, we got to talk ISIS now. We got to talk about things that are happening at this very moment. If Donald Trump wants to play Monday morning quarterback, guess what? Most people, it's not going to resonate with. How do you sit there and say, woulda, coulda, shoulda if I was in charge? And by the way, wasn't he a progressive and a liberal back then? Because I was in New York City at the same time. And Donald Trump was no friend of the Bushes, no friend of the Republicans, and certainly no friend of the Conservative Party at that time.
It is fair to say, and also as someone who grew up there, you grew up there, I find that a little bit disgusting to bring those people into it, and a lot of those survivors who are going to be thinking about this again and making it political. All right, 60 seconds, real quick. A knife attack in London. You founded the Guardian Angels, as I pointed out, which helped to embolden people, make them understand how they've got to get involved, and they've got to make sure that they are able to fight the people who are out there looking to hurt us. The knee-jerkers immediately say, oh, wait a minute, look out. He's Somali origin. Well, he's from Norway rather, but he's Somali origin, so they're immediately thinking it's got to be terrorism. Doesn't that hurt the overall issue as well? This could have been somebody mentally diseased. They don't know yet, but doesn't that hurt the overall effect on trying to help stop crime?
Well, look, I have Guardian Angels in London. I have them in 13 countries, 130 cities. But I'm the first to suggest that all of a sudden now, Germany, France, we're claiming that all of these lone wolf terrorists have all the furniture upstairs and rearranged in the wrong rooms. We even said that about our own domestic terrorists in Orlando, that it's because of mental disease. Well, if you join ISIS, you gotta be insane in the brain. You gotta be crazy. What does that have to do with being a lone wolf terrorist? Let's not get distracted and deflected. These guys have been influenced by ISIS. ISIS has a great propaganda machine, and we got to understand the roots of it is a mental disorder. It's the fact that they want to be terrorists and they want to go out in a blaze of glory.
And there's the words in there. Don't get distracted. I think that's the perfect way to go ahead and make the point here. And that is good advice for everybody. Remind everybody once again, weekday afternoons, noon, and again weekday evenings at 5 p.m. Eastern Time, 77 WABC Radio in New York. That's where you can find Curtis Sliwa. Always a pleasure, my friend. Always good to talk a little Somalians with you. There you go. And those weren't even Girl Scout cookies. Take care, buddy. A reminder here, programming-wise, if you watch Newsmax TV on DirecTV, we will be moving our primetime shows to channel 366 in another week. We'll remind you of it again. You can begin watching us there right now. So check us out on channel 366. Make sure you change it and you get to the right channel, because it's a good thing when it's sitting there, all right? We will keep you informed, and we will let you know exactly where we're at, because we got to make sure we get a place for Curtis every Friday, right? Or at least later in the week. Rock on, true believers. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow night. Good night and good luck.